Hello, everyone, and welcome to Something Wicked This Way Comes. And today's a little bit different. Today, I, your humble host, Xanarus, that's my name usually. But today, I'm going to go show you that I'm one of Santa's many elves. And just like our co host here, co host, say hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hello. Hi. We are actually here to talk about some of the good things. And today is a special day because we're going to talk about what makes Santa so special. And not just what makes Santa special, but a group of people that are actually working on making sure that Santa is able to continue to give love and gifts and just all that good feeling of the holiday to other people. He has to be trained. And she has to be trained too, because we do have Lady Santa. Now,
Mhm.
keeping in mind, just so that we all know, Santa's still Santa, and Santa has his own thing. But he goes and he reaches out to other people to go and help, to be able to bring merriment and cheer all year long. So don't forget, Santa's still out there doing his thing. So, oh, and also, if you have a moment, sit down because life is hard and you don't want to wind up on the naughty list. Oh, a little bit of a naughty cup. So we're going to go and stay on this for a little bit of a sip of hot chocolate with lots of marshmallows. Because as we all know, Santa's favorite meal is what, guys?
Cookies and milk.
Cookies and milk, of course.
That's not a
So,
meal. That's a dessert, Daniel.
Well, to be fair,
well, I mean, Santa's busy. He needs the energy. So, talking about that,
Santa's
when we
metabolism
talk,
must be insane.
I mean, he does visit every single boy and girl and everyone in the in between all throughout on that one day. So, there's a lot of stuff. So, with that being said, think on it. What makes Santa special? What makes Santa, you know, what makes when you see a Santa, what makes you think, yeah, that's that's a good Santa for you guys?
You want to go first? You want me to? I'll go first.
Yeah, I thought you were asking Daniel.
Oh no!
Oh,
Oh! Oh
Oh.
no! Whoop.
Ah!
A wild
come
Disney man
back!
appeared.
Oh, one of Santa's elves was also coming in, and then they left. You can come back so you can come and talk.
So for me, Baba Noel is someone who is there for you no matter. I was raised that he's able to change race. He's able to
Mm-hmm.
um, change different religions
Mm-hmm.
for different kids. So, and I just love Baba Noel is Turkish, so I am in love with Baba Noel so much. The idea of it, and I had visiting me while growing up, and that was a very special moment for me.
I'm glad. It's those special things that going to make Santa Santa. It's those special things that Santa does for every person, no matter race, creed, or nationality. That going to
Mhm.
make Santa Santa.
Yes.
Francisco, what's a good Santa for you?
Well, I once heard this one person who he wasn't sure, but he believed that Santa was colorblind because
Hmm.
in the eyes of Santa, everyone is the same.
Hmm. So,
Interesting.
I just thought that was an interesting idea. Everyone deserves the same amount of love and goodwill. So,
and when we think of Santa, we think of the big jolly face and the beard and the hat. But let's go and say that you wanted to help Santa by becoming one of his helpers and becoming a Santa so that you can kind of get things, help out through the holidays and visit and stuff like that. Because since Santa's so busy in the North Pole, he has to kind of guide people. Well, some people have taken that to heart, and there are actual Santa schools. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Mostly, I'm going to be talking about the very, very first Santa school. And with great, great, great pleasure, I will be talking about Charles Willis or Charlie Howard, born June 15th, 1869 to May 1st, 1966. Excuse me.
If you look at the screen right now, you can see what the school actually looks like. Um, it was also featured in the Christmas special for how to be a Santa, how to train a Santa.
mm-hmm.
So it's one of those things that you when you think about it, it's like there's important things to it because Charles, excuse me, Charles that felt that some of the Santa Clauses he encountered were not professional. For example, a Santa Claus would go off on a break and maybe indulge in a cigarette or something like that, or the beard wouldn't fit properly, or they just didn't have the Christmas spirit. So, to kind of help that along, you see, what a lot of people don't know is that Charles is actually one of the most famous Santas in the world. And he was a farmer in Albion, New York. And He established this school for a few reasons, and some of them are some of my favorite. His displeasure with seeing other Santas in frayed suits, cheap beards, and a shockingly inadequate knowledge of reindeer, which we all know that reindeer helps Santa make it to all the
Hmm.
stuff that he's got to do. So, it's one of those things. And he actually did a lot of stuff. He would wanted to go and start his Santa school, which was established in 1937. And the funny thing is, the first class consisted of only three men, including a welder from New Jersey, his friend, and a neighbor. Charles eventually had a Christmas theme park with several barns, a train, and some reindeer. Children from miles around come and visit. Now, and one of those people is a gentleman by the name of Tom Vallant, and Tom Vallant is actually the owner of the Charles Howard Santa School at this very moment. And let me. But there was something very special that happened. Um, you see, Santa, while Charles was kind of going through the process, and he had did a lot of things. He enjoyed playing Santa even when he was a very young boy, and his grandmother made him a suit, and he was using a face mask for a while, and he stopped using it because it scared children, which I'm really glad they figured that out. So,
Can't imagine why he wouldn't have known
whoop.
that.
So, one of the big things that and Howard, while he was doing all this work and he was working in schools and all this other stuff, um, for him to commute from Albion to Rochester, where he was working, Howard would wake up between 3:30 a.m. and 4 a.m., complete all his chores on the farm, get ready for work. His wife would drive him to the train station, and at the end of the day, he would return to finish his chores and then tumble into. So Santa was always working very hard. Charles was a very, very good helper. And there was a moment that he felt that maybe he just didn't have enough understanding of what Santa Claus was. So Charles actually recalls in a little memoir of an interaction with a young child that helped him understand the role. And he writes, one morning, a little girl watched him work. She stood there for some time before she ventured closer. Then, a step at a time, she walked up to him and very timidly asked, Santa, will you promise me something? Santa looked at the child and said, what is it you want me to promise? He had already learned that promises sometimes meant heartache. He did not want to make any mistakes. However, the child seemed so sincere, so earnest. He took her little hand in his. The child drew closer, looked up into his face with all the love and trust that a 5-year-old could, and whispered, will you promise me you will never shave? It wasn't what he had expected, but all at once he realized that if Santa meant that much to that child, it must mean just as much to hundreds of others. Who was this old fellow who meant so much to the children? Where did he come from? What did he stand for? Why did he wear the red suit? Why was it trimmed with white fur? Why this and why that? So, after that, Howard decided that he was going to read up as much history of Santa Claus as he could. Uh, he started to go to the libraries to go and get their books. He started speaking to other experienced Santas, and he literally got to the point that he felt that he could do it, and he wanted to go make it happen. So this school, um, it actually started off at $15 each for tuition, which is so great. And you can go and tell how long ago this was. The fact that it was only $15, and the lack of success was a hard learned business lesson for Howard. As store owners remarked that if a lesson on how to become a Santa only costs 15, then it must not be worth much. Which is so odd, isn't it? That just because he wanted to be good and kind of keep things low so that other people can go and do it, people were giving him stuff about it. Ain't that something?
Hmm.
That's
Hmm.
that's I tell you, well. Anyways, that's besides the point, kids. Don't let's not get lost in that. Oh. But anyways, so Howard eventually increases the intuition. And a grocery store asked him in Chicago to visit Chicago to open up a little school to conduct a little school thing for them. Now the thing is, and I like this a lot. Howard had no dedicated schoolhouse, but he states Santa originated in the home. It was best to keep him there. So the school was conducted in Howard's home at Phipps Road and Gaines Basin Road in Albion. He convinced his wife to cook new meals for all the men. As a home economics teacher at the Western House of Refuge in Albion, she served meals that Santa Claus type men enjoyed to increase the prestige of the school. Howard sought out Charles Newton Hood of Medina, New York, an old time showman, to teach the showmanship angle of Santa Claus. Ed Butler of Coldwater, Michigan, was an expert on reindeer and was called in to instructing students on working with reindeer. And as that continued, he continued to add more experts. So he also, it was really, really like Howard was very big on the suits. So like to add to the character of it, Howard designed his own suit, which is actually like the suit that everyone sees now. Every Santa that you go, you see that suit was pretty much created. Well, not it's one of those things that it was fine tuned by
Right.
Charles
Yeah.
because of course
Because
Santa
Coca
made it.
Cola had originally worked with Santa to,
It's a thing.
yeah, but he's the one that came up with the iconic, the
With the red and
bell,
white.
the
hmm
little twiddle on it.
And as he stated, he designed his own suit that was worthy of the cat. No, forgive me, worthy of Santa as he knew him. He was criticized for manufacturing an outfit that was double the price of any other and was told he would never sell them. The suits were made from the original pattern from 1937, made with French rabbit fur, and had yak beards for the price of 85. But by the
Mm.
1960s, he was providing the biggest and best stores in the nation with Santa suits. In 1944, Howard left McCurdy's department store in Rochester and entered the employ of Adam, Meldrum, and Anderson in Buffalo, New York. And he remained in that role until he suffered. He, we don't want to go and talk about the bad stuff, but it- Mr. Howard wasn't doing too well at towards 1948. He wasn't feeling too good.
Mm.
But from 1948 to 1965, he was the featured Santa Claus in the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade, and as a lot of people go and say, the most famous of Santas. So that's
Hmm.
one of those things. And now, the Christmas park, which was attracting like 80,000 people a year, sadly, that's closed. But the Charles W. Howard Santa Claus School continues to run in Midland, Michigan, under Tom and Holly Vallant, who themselves betray Santa and Mrs. Claus for almost 30 years. Um, with that being said, I tell you, what is it that what could they possibly be showing at Santa School? Well, I mean, it's crazy. So classes they begin usually in September, and they and from the 29th. This year was from the 29th. Oh, I'm so sorry. This is for the new curriculum. Is from the September 29th to 2022 at 9 a.m. and it ends October 1st around 9 p.m. with a banquet, which is
Oh wow.
great. So so let us get into what do you learn at Santa School. So one, there is a Santa manual that we will go into detail. But one of the biggest things that they learn is the history of Saint Nicholas and Santa Claus, proper dress and use of makeup. So you know how they used to go for the really rosy cheeks. Well, they
Hmm.
also do eye makeup to go and make the eyes because it's actually supposed to go and show that Santa's a little bit sleepy because he's had so much going on, but
Mm.
not sad.
Mm.
He's just supposed to go and have a little bit of a sleepy look to him because he's so busy. Then we have professional wig and beard applications for those without real beards. Not everybody can grow one out, and some people that can't would like to be able to play Santa. So they actually will go and have stylists present, real human hair beards, which I have read that some of them can reach up to $2,000 for the appliances, and they look stunning. I will. Definitely go and speak of that. Um, they teach you experience for radio and television interviews. Santa sign language. That's great. So for children that don't really know how, that can't communicate, that they'll be able to sign with Santa to be able to go and tell him, what they want, what they think.
That's great.
Uh, isn't it? Singing, voice, and presentation skills. They do have a question and answer form. They do a visit with children. They also, which I think is really great, accounting and business tips, marketing advice, live reindeer habitats, and you get to meet real reindeer. There is a really big learning section about Mrs. Claus, the Midland Santa House visit, which is the original place of the school, Santa practice flight lesson. And allow me to explain that to you because it is one of the funniest things I've seen and I love it. So, Santa flight lessons is mechanical reindeer and a sleigh that they will hold the reins onto, and they will get to fly like Santa would. And they have to go and do it in a certain way so that it can, so they can go and be very Santa like, because Santa's a very special type of guy. So we
Hmm.
have to be able to go and um, make it very similar to what Santa's able to do. Um, you also get to make toys in Santa's workshop. And again, it's like they think of everything. Newest toys and gadgets on wish list, because we have to be able to go and get Santa's helpers to know what is it that all these kids are looking for, and health and exercise. So they make it a big thing that they know that Santa's a big jolly guy, but they want you to be able to be safe, and they want you to be able to go and be healthy. So they go and they help with that type of info. New students, it is a $580 fee, and the alumni is 550. And you can also do a Santa and Mrs. Claus couple, which is also ranges into that. So,
Hmm.
which again, it's just great. I could not, I can't even I can't even wrap my head around like all the fun stuff that falls into that.
It's really great
But
because Fran and I have talked about, like, I don't know if you just saw us make eyebrows, but we've talked about doing that together.
Yeah.
Um,
oh, that'd be wonderful.
ever
Cool.
since 2015, there was this TV show that came out, and it was Santa's in the Barn. And
Okay.
it is the most magical TV
The
show.
best way I could describe it is imagine Survivor, but for a competitive Santas.
And what's really great, they actually worked with the Charles Howard School for
Oh.
it. So you actually get to see a little snippet of what they have them do. They have to create display pieces on actual different cultures of the, like, so from in Norway, in Sweden, in China, like
Hmm.
how they celebrate Christmas in each of these different cultures. And they have to present it. They actually have to know how to sing a song halfway through. Like someone has just mentioned this little part of it. They have to know how to pick up from there and continue on. They have to.
Didn't
It
they
is.
have a sled race at
They
one
had
point?
a sled race. It
Oh
is
no.
the most magical TV show.
It was surprisingly physical sometimes.
It
Like they
was.
actually, I think at one point they had a cookie eating contest,
Yup. Like
which they had to wash
It's
down with
like,
either which they had to wash down with milk.
yup. And it was great because it it takes just a snippet of what you learn at the Howard Santa School Claus School, and it, it allows regular civilians to
to kind
learn
of be
about
part.
it. Yes.
Hmm.
That's great. So I know we've been telling the viewers that we are Santa help, which is true, but we weren't able to get all of the Santa manual. Hmm? We were only able to get some information. So with that, we're going to speak a little bit about it. Now, this isn't the exact one that they're using. This is just little snippets of it. Okay,
Because we haven't been in the classes yet. That's
we
why we
haven't been in
haven't. Why we
that's true.
haven't
We
been
haven't,
given permission for the manual.
and we can't. We just can't go and share that type of stuff. It's just one of those things. Some things have to stay secret because it's important. So, with that being said, um, they go and they have tips. It helps that you develop a good ho ho ho.
Mhm.
Well, Daniel, as someone who loves Christmas so much, and who
Maybe. And also, I will be posting the trailer for Santa's in the Barn in our Discord.
Mm. Also, you do have to learn the names of the reindeer, which I don't. I have the list here though. I know. I thought I did, and then I forgot Donner. I don't know why how I could forget
you
Donner,
forgot
but
Donner and Blitzen.
no, I always remember Blitzen. I just for some reason Donner was like, and Donner, if you're watching, I promise it's nothing personal. I couldn't remember. So we'll go through that. So if you guys don't know, the Rudolph line, forgive me, the line is as follows: Dancer, no, forgive me, Dasher, Dancer, Prancer, Vixen, Comet, Cupid, Donner, Blitzen.
And but don't forget the most famous reindeer of all.
Rudolph. So let us never ever go and forget that Rudolph is also a story of how someone that was very different helped go and make Christmas all that more special for so many other people by being able to. Now, there are certain things. There will be expect that occasional children who brings cookies or maybe oats for the reindeer, and you could set them aside for appropriate moments.
I
You were to
always
go and let
put
them
out
know,
carrots for Papa Noel's reindeer.
and they go and they say that for cookies, just say that you'll love to have them later with your milk, and that you'll be getting the oats to the reindeer as soon as you can. Um, the child may not want to sit on your lap. You are to show with. You go with it. If they show reluctance, you tell them they can sit on my lap or you can sit next to me, whatever you like. And interesting enough, they usually jump right on it. You always ask their name and you make sure to use it. Excuse me. Now, one thing that I actually kind of like, expect some mumbling and soft voices. It isn't important you really hear clearly what they want, since you're more there to help them feel the spirit of it. And there'll be kids that will go and bring written lists. They'll have magazine clippings. They'll bring books and pictures for you to go and see. And that's very, very important. And you're to take it, you to examine it very closely and let them know that you're looking at it. So one thing too that I think is a little is softening to the heart is that don't make promises. Um, you will always go let them know I'll see what I can do, but whatever you get for Christmas, I'll make sure it's something you like. Because Santa sometimes gets asked some very, very big questions. And I cannot even begin to imagine the amounts of things that Santa is asked on a day by certain children. And it is so important for you to be able to kind of have, you know, that that bedside manner
Yeah.
to be able to go
Mhm.
on and let them know like um can't make you a promise, but we're gonna look into it and we're gonna go and see what we can do. And
There's
Charles,
there's actually
hmm,
a subset in this TV show that where they've been asked about family members that have passed away that they're wishing them to come back, and it's
mhm.
really tragic, but it's really beautiful how they're trained to handle it. Like
It and that's the reason why like it's such a special thing, isn't it?
it is.
Yeah.
Because I know, I know how some of you may be thinking Santa school. Well, you know what? And I know I'm a little bit of a Christmas nut, but I will be the first one to go and tell you it's hard to be a good Santa because you're building memories that will stay with a child. for years and years to come. So
Oh
it's
yeah.
so important to be able to make sure that we go and we keep that spirit of Christmas alive, and that we always remind them of just how important it is to be kind throughout these moments. And you know, oh, and it also mentions be ready to make adjustments to any of the advice depending on circumstances. Whether you're a guest at a child's party or in public with a line of kids ready to jump in your lap and provide their lesson. So there is also something called Santacon. I can't help but laugh. And right now, Santacon, due to some other stuff that's kind of happening, they're not really up and going at the moment. It's usually in Portland, Oregon, in Stumptown. But, but, hopefully, as things start to go and clear up, because we have to make sure that Santa and his helpers are safe, everybody. So, since
Hmm.
because COVID's happening and stuff like that, and you be safe too in your holidays. So,
Yes.
you want to go make sure you're washing your hands, you're wearing your mask, you get your vaccination, you're taking care of mommy and daddy. And
Hmm.
so, the fun thing is that there are guidelines for you to be able to enjoy SantaCon. They're not rules, they're guidelines. So, for the purpose of SantaCon, Christmas is the name of the popular secular holiday and has no religious connotation, much like the word holiday. That doesn't mean that it's not respected. It just simply means that taking part in SantaCon doesn't imply you support any particular religion or doctrine. It's just silly fun. Dress up. A Santa hat alone is not enough. You don't have to dress exactly like Santa, but the theme is red. um, you address your fellow Santa as Santa. Uh, they mention it's very good for you to have fun, but not too much fun. Hmm.
Yeah.
They also go and say, watch out for elves. Elves work hard for Santa all year and especially hard during the holiday season.
Mm-hmm.
Santa
Hmm.
loves his elves. Um, Now there is a red theme event, and if they come dressed in green, then you can be a little mean to them because they're being naughty. They're supposed, so it's one of those things. They also go and mention how guidelines should not be taken seriously. Um, and I actually really do enjoy this one a lot. Some of these guidelines should not be taken very seriously. If you can't work out which ones they are, then you're not intelligent enough to take part in SantaCon. And so don't get drunk in public. Being drunk or disorderly in public will tarnish Santa's reputation. One bad Santa can ruin things for an entire location because we're all dressed. Also, it's an offense and will get you arrested. Remember, there is no bail fund for incarcerated Santas. If you cross the line, you're on your own. Don't be that Santa. And one thing that I think is super duper important, Santa does not make children cry. And I like the fact that they say, does this even really need to be said? If you see kids, be kind. Don't do anything to freak them out. Give them a nice smile and possibly a gift of some kind. Optionally, bring gifts. And they also mention nice gifts to give children, nice or naughty things for adults. Do not throw gifts. Do not throw gifts. Santa dresses for all occasions. It's cold outside. Wear multiple custom layers and all that good stuff. Santa doesn't whine. Some Santa cons are supremely well organized and others fall apart within the first 5 minutes. Some involve a lot of walking, and sometimes Santa is turned away. It's all good fun if you choose to have a positive attitude. Santa does not mess with security. Make sure to always tip the good people who are serving you. And please pay for your refreshments as you go. And another thing that I really like is Santa, no Santa left behind. Don't think of yourself. Santa cares about his fellow Santas. Pick a few people you know and keep an eye out for them, especially when it's time to move to another venue. If you don't see them, speak up so other Santas know to wait a moment. Every Santa should have at least 2 to 3 Santas they look out for, and 2 to 3 that look out for them in turn. As they say, the more, the merrier. Santa does not drink milk and drive. Uh, so it was one of those things. Now, with all that being said, Um, I personally have I love Christmas very much, and I think that Christmas is one of the my it is 100% my favorite holiday. And I would I'll be ending today with a little bit of a little memory. So my parents were not always the most well off. They always made sure that Christmas was special. And even if it was just a little gift or just us being together, we always had a meal and we were always there with one another. And, you know, I mention it because, sorry about that. My mom passed in July, and I wasn't going to put up the tree or get dressed up or anything. And I'm glad I did. And I'm glad to do this with you. It means a lot. So, and
No Santa left behind, Daniel.
Mhm.
that's right. And don't be sad because love is part of the holiday. And we will miss people, and that's okay. So, with that being said, uh, I'm sorry. I didn't think that would happen.
Don't be.
But what I will say is be safe and be good and
Cherish what
know
you
that,
have.
and even if we're not there with you, we are there with you in spirit. And we think you're great. So, as Santa's elves, we will be here and we'll be watching. And we hope that you continue to be with us as the new year comes in and that you're able to be with us for the next 3 weeks that we do something wicked. And then you will be talking about more positive things and talking about the holiday and all that stuff. And I'm so glad to be able to do that with you. So, uh, let's all sit down and maybe not prick our thumbs this time, but go and know that something wicked this way comes. Thank you so much for your time, and we'll see you all soon.
Bye.
Take care, y'all.